Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course of Thermodynamics 1, and this is lecture number 8. Now, in lecture number 8, we will study the property of the substances and their effects. Now, properties of pure substances. A substance that has a fixed chemical composition throughout is called a pure substance. Let me take the pointer now. Like water, nitrogen, helium, carbon dioxide, these are all the examples of pure substances. A pure substance doesn't have to be a single chemical element, it could be a compound as well. As long as the mixture is homogeneous, you can also treat it as a pure substance. Like the chemical composition is same in liquid and vapor compound, in which some portion is vapor, some portion is liquid. There are two phases involved, but it is also the example of a pure substance. Now, the phase of a substance. We all know from the experience that the substances exist in different phases. At room temperature and pressure, copper is a solid, mercury is a liquid, and nitrogen is gas. Under different conditions, each may appear in different phases, even though there are three principal phases: solid, liquid, and gas. But a substance may have several phases within a principal phase, each with a different molecular structure. Like carbon, for example, may exist as graphite or diamond, but it is in a single solid phase. Helium has two liquid phases, iron has three solid phases, ice may exist in 7 different phases at high pressures. A phase is identified as having a distinct molecular structure arrangement that is homogeneous throughout. There are two phases of water in ice to water. This is all the examples of the phases of a substance. Now, the common phases are liquid, solid, and gas. Phase change process. There are many practical situations where two phases of a pure substance coexist in equilibrium. Water exists as a mixture of liquid and vapors in the boiler and in the condenser of steam power plant. The refrigerant turns from liquid to the vapors in the freezer of the refrigerator. This is also the example of phase change process. Even though many homeowners consider the freezing of the water in the underground pipes as the most important phase change process, attention in this section is focused on the liquid and the vapor mixtures. As a familiar substance, water is used to demonstrate the basic principles that are involved in a phase change process. Remember, however, that all the pure substances exhibit the same general behavior, that is of water. Now we'll define the compressed liquid and the saturated liquid. Here in this picture 3.6, you can see that it's basically a cylinder in which this is basically the lid. Here the pressure is 1 and temperature is 20. So the liquid is basically the compressed liquid because here the lid is present. While in this picture the pressure is 1 atm and temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. At 1 atm pressure and 100 degrees Celsius, the water exists as liquid, that is ready to vaporize, because 100 is the boiling point. So this liquid will be called as saturated liquid. Now consider a piston cylinder device containing the liquid at 20 degrees Celsius and 1 atm pressure as shown in 3.6. Under this condition, water exists in the liquid phase, so it will be known as the compressed liquid or the subcooled liquid, meaning that it is not about to vaporize unless and until its temperature reaches to the boiling point. Heat is now transferred to the water until the temperature rises, say 40 degrees Celsius. As the temperature rises, the water liquid expands slightly, so its specific volume increases. To accommodate this expansion, the piston moves slightly upward. The pressure in the cylinder remains constant 1 atm during the process since it is dependent on the outside barometric pressure and the weight of the piston. Water is still in the liquid form. As we supply more heat, the temperature keeps rising until it reaches to 100 degrees Celsius, like in this picture. At that point, water is still liquid, but it is ready. Any heat addition will cause some of the liquid to vaporize. Now this phase change process from liquid to vapors is about to take place. At this state, the liquid is about to vaporize and it is known as the saturated liquid phase. As we have saturated liquid phase, we also have the saturated vapor and superheated vapor phase. Once the boiling starts, the temperature stops rising unless all the liquid is completely vaporized. This is the temperature that will remain constant during the entire phase change process, and if the pressure is held constant. This can easily be verified by placing a thermometer into the boiling pure water on the top of a stove. At sea level 1 atm, the thermometer will always reach 100 degrees Celsius if the pan is uncovered and covered with a light lid. During the boiling process, the only change we will observe that the larger increase in the volume and the the water is converted into the steam. Midway about the vaporization, as in 3.8, the cylinder contains equal amount of the liquid and equal amount of the vapor. This is the amount of liquid and this is the amount of vapor. As we continue to transfer heat, vaporization process continue unless and until the last drop of the liquid is vaporized. At this point, the entire cylinder is filled with the vapors that is on the borderline of the liquid phase. Any heat loss from this state will cause some of the vapors to condense back into the liquid phase. At that point, these vapors which are ready to condense is known as the saturated vapor phase. Therefore, the state 4 in the saturated vapor is basically the saturated vapor phase. A substance at the state between 2 and 4 is referred as the saturated liquid vapor mixture, since liquid and vapor phases coexist in equilibrium at these states. Once the phase change process is completed, all the liquid is converted into the steam. We are back to the single phase region again. The further transfer of the heat result increase in both temperature and the specific volume. That is state number 5. The temperature of the vapor is less. Now say at that point is 300 degrees Celsius. Now if we transfer some of the heat from the vapors, the temperature may drop somewhat, but no condensation will occur. As the temperature is so high, the steam will not be converted back into the liquid phase. So a vapor that is not about to condense is known as a superheated vapor. It has much high temperature from the boiling point of the liquid. Therefore, water at the state 5 is in the superheated vapor phase. This constant pressure phase change is illustrated in the next slide. Here you are seeing basically a temperature volume TV diagram. From 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius, before 100 degrees Celsius, this is all from 1 to 2. Water in this is basically in the compressed liquid form. From 100 degrees Celsius, from point number 2 to point number 3, basically we have a saturated mixture. From 2 to 3 we are having the saturated liquid, and from 3 to 4 we are having the saturated vapors. Once all the liquid is converted into the vapors, now from 100 degrees Celsius to onwards 200, 300 degrees Celsius and more, from 4 to 5, this is basically the region for the superheated vapors. Now this diagram is for the water where the pressure is kept constant at 1 atm pressure, and these are all the phases that have been shown. Once again I will tell you, from 1 to 2 we have compressed liquid, 2 to 3 we have saturated saturated liquid, from 3 to 4 we have saturated vapor, and from 4 to 5 we have superheated vapors. Now the definition of saturated vapor and superheated vapor is described. If the entire process described here is reversed by cooling the water while maintaining the pressure at the same value, like 1 atm, the water will go back to the state number 1 again, retracting the same path, and doing so the amount of heat will be released, and it will be exactly match the amount of heat that have been added during the heating process. In our daily life, water implies liquid water and the steam implies water vapors. In thermodynamics, however, both liquid water and steam are usually taken as one thing, H2O. Now, saturation temperature and saturation pressure. It probably came as no surprise that the water started to boil at 100 degrees Celsius. Strictly speaking, this statement, the water boils is 100 degrees Celsius, is incorrect or incomplete, we can say. The correct statement is water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at 1 atm pressure. The only reason that the water boils at 100 degrees Celsius because of the pressure that have been held constant, 1 atm or 101.325 kilopascals. If the pressure inside the cylinder is raised to 500 kilopascals, from 100 kilopascals to 500 kilopascals, by adding weight upon the top of the piston, the water would start boiling in place of 100 degrees Celsius to 151. This is the temperature at which the water starts boiling depends upon the pressure. Therefore, if the pressure is fixed, so the boiling temperature is. At the given pressure, the temperature at which the pure substances changes its phase is known as saturation pressure, T of saturation. Likewise, at a given temperature, the pressure at which the pure substance starts changing its phase is known as saturation pressure, P of saturation. So, at the pressure of 1 atm or 101.325 kilopascal, saturation temperature for water is 99.97 degrees Celsius or vice versa. It takes a larger amount of energy to melt a solid or to vaporize a liquid. The amount of energy absorbed or released during a phase change process is known as the latent heat. As I told you in the previous lectures, there are basically two types of the heat: sensible heat and the latent heat. Sensible heat is basically that heat during which the temperature of a substance changes, and latent heat is basically the heat in which the temperature remains constant and phase of the substance changes. More specifically, the amount of energy absorbed during melting from solid to liquid is known as latent heat of fusion, and this amount of energy is equivalent to the amount of energy released during freezing. Similarly, the amount of energy absorbed during vaporization from liquid to vapors is known as latent heat of vaporization, and it is equivalent to the energy released during condensation when the steam is condensed back into the liquid. The magnitude of the latent heat depends upon the temperature and the pressure. At 1 atm pressure, latent heat of fusion of water is 333.7 kilojoule per kg, and the vaporization is 2256.5 kilojoule per kg. Now the property diagrams. These diagrams are very important in thermodynamics course. There are basically three types of property diagrams: pressure and volume diagram, temperature and volume diagram, TV diagram, pressure and volume diagram, PV diagram, pressure and temperature diagram, which is known as PT diagram. Now temperature volume diagram, TV diagram. As you have seen this diagram here, this diagram is basically used to show the trend of a liquid, how that liquid is changed from compressed liquid to saturated vapor to the superheated vapors. Now we'll see here TV diagram. The phase change process of water at 1 atm degree Celsius at 1 atm pressure was described in details in the last section that I've shown you on a TV diagram. Now we repeat this process at the different values of the pressure and develop our TV diagram. Let us add the weight upon the top of the piston until the pressure inside the cylinder reaches 1 megapascal, from 101 kilopascals to 1 megapascal. At this pressure, the water has somewhat smaller specific volume than it does at 1 atm pressure. As the heat is transferred to the water at this new pressure, the process follows a path that looks like similar to the path of 1 atm pressure, but there are some noticeable differences. First, the water starts boiling at much higher temperature, 179.9 degrees Celsius at this pressure. Second, the specific volume of the saturated liquid is larger and the specific volume of the saturated vapor is smaller than the corresponding values at 1 atm pressure. That is, a horizontal line that connects the saturated liquid and the saturated vapor state is now much shorter. Now we'll see here, this is basically a TV diagram. Here the liquid is present, this is 100 degrees Celsius. Now a phase change process, and this is superheated steam. Now these lines are plotted for the different values of the pressure. Here the pressure is 0.01 megapascal, here we have 0.1 megapascal, here we have 1 megapascal, here we have 8 megapascal, here we have 15 megapascal, 22 and 25. Now as the value of the pressure is increasing, this line is becoming shorter. You can see here, this line is basically the line where the saturated liquid and the saturated vapor coexists. As the pressure value increases, this lines become shorter and shorter. It means that when the value of the pressure increases, the liquid will suddenly changes from liquid phase to the vapor phase, or you can say that the superheated vapor phase. So when the value of the pressure becomes 22.6, this is known as basically the critical point. Here the water will convert into the steam just within a second, and there will be no noticeable phase change process. And after that, the value of pressure is 25 megapascal, that is greater from the critical point pressure. Here the liquid and solid, the vapor phase or the superheated phase will coexist, and there will be no noticeable changes. These are the important points that are deduced from the previous graph. As the pressure is increased further, this saturation lines continues to shorter. As I told you, this line becomes short, short, short and short. And it becomes a point where the pressure reaches 22.06 megapascal. This point is called the critical point, and it is defined as the point at which the saturated liquid and the saturated vapor states are identical. We cannot separate these two phases. The temperature, pressure and the specific volume of a substance at a critical point is called the critical temperature, TCR, critical pressure, PCR, and the critical specific volume, VCR. These values are given for the water. At pressure above the critical pressure, there is not a distinct phase change process. Instead, the specific volume of a substance continually increases and at all the times, and there is only one phase present. Eventually, it will resemble a vapor, but we can never tell that when the phase change process has occurred. Here we can say that this is the starting of the phase change process and this is the end of phase change process. Here we cannot say when the phase change process started and when it ended. The saturated liquid state can be connected by a line that is known as saturated liquid line, and the saturated vapor phase can be connected to a line known as the saturated vapor line. This is basically a TV diagram here is shown, and this is basically a dome, and this is the critical point at a pressure 22.05. Before the critical point on the left side of the dome, all the lines are of compressed liquid region, and after the critical point, this is all the lines of superheated region, and within that, this is basically the saturated liquid vapor region where the both lines can coexist. Here you can also see that as the value of the pressure increases, this line will be shifted towards the upward direction at the critical point, and a stage comes where you cannot separate the two phases and there will be the very much shorter liquid and vapor phase region. Now the second diagram, that is basically a pressure volume diagram or the PV diagram, and this is also a very important diagram. The general shape of a PV diagram of a pure substance is same as a TV diagram, but instead of the constant temperature line, now we have a pressure line. Consider again a piston cylinder device that contains the liquid water at 1 megapascals and 150 degrees Celsius. Water is this state exists as a compressed liquid as the temperature and pressures are so high. Now the weights upon the top of the piston are removed one by one, so the pressure inside drops gradually. The water is allowed to exchange the heat with the surroundings, so its temperature remains constant because the process is moving very slowly. As the pressure decreases, the volume will increase slightly. When the pressure reaches the saturation pressure value, the water starts to boil. During the vaporization process, both the pressure and the temperature remains constant, but the specific volumes keep on increasing. Once the last drop of liquid is vaporized, further reduction in the pressure results in the further increase in the specific volume. Notice that during a phase change process we cannot remove any weight. Doing so would cause the pressure and therefore the temperature to drop, and the process would no longer be isothermal. So I will show you with the help of this graph what have been said in this. When the process is repeated for the other temperature, similar path is obtained. Now it is a PV diagram. Here we have a basically piston cylinder device where the pressure is 1 megapascals and temperature is 150 degrees Celsius, and here at the top we have weight. So by applying the weight and increasing the pressure, we have basically stopped the water from boiling at 150 degrees Celsius. So the water is basically existing as a compressed liquid water in this region. Now one by one weight is basically removed, so the pressure inside is dropping, because when the weight is now removed, so the water starts to boil. Now the water is basically going from compressed liquid region slowly into the basically wet region, that is basically the saturated liquid vapor region. Now once the pressure is reached to a value of critical pressure where the boiling starts, now the lines become straight unless and until all the compressed water is converted into the vapors. Now, when the phase change process has occurred, then there will be the further reduction in the pressure and temperature as well. Now, PT diagram, this is basically the third diagram of a pure substance. This diagram is often called a phase diagram since all the three phases are separated from each other by three lines. Now, this is basically a PT diagram of a pure substances. Here we have all the three phases: solid phase, vapor phase, and the liquid phase. The line of sublimation is basically separating solid and the vapor phase. Sublimation is a process in which a solid is directly converted into a vapor region. So the line of sublimation will separate solid region and the vapor region. Similarly, vaporization region separates liquid region and the vapor region. What is vaporization? When the liquid is given a heat and it will convert into the vapor. So the line of vaporization basically separates liquid and the vapor phase before the critical temperature. As we have shown in the previous TV diagram, above the critical temperature there is no distinction between liquid and vapor phase. So after the critical point, these two liquid and vapor region will merge into each other. Now this line of melting separates solid and the liquid phase. When a solid is heated, it will melt back into a liquid. So the line of the melting will separate the solid region and the liquid region. This is basically the triple point of the water, where your liquid phase, your vapor phase, and your solid phase coexist. Now, property table. For most substances, the relationships among the thermodynamic properties are too complex to be expressed by the simple equations. Therefore, the properties are frequently presented in the form of the tables. Some thermodynamic properties can be measured easily, but others cannot be calculated using the relations between them. So, for that, we have thermodynamic property tables that are also known as the steam tables. Now property tables are property table 4A, A4E, that is used for the saturated water. This is basically a temperature based table. Table A5E is a saturated water pressure table. Table A6E is a superheated water table. Table A7E is the compressed liquid water. Consult these four modules of the steam table. File is attached here. Now how to read the steam tables I will show you next. How in a numerical you will interpret the values of temperature, pressure, enthalpy, entropy from the steam tables. But first we'll discuss the enthalpy and entropy. Now enthalpy. Enthalpy is also a thermodynamic property just like pressure, volume and temperature. It is a thermodynamic quantity equivalent to the total heat contents of a system, internal energy, plus PV, that is also work. So enthalpy H is equals to U plus PV. Both the total enthalpy capital H and the specific enthalpy smaller h are simply referred as the enthalpy. You can also calculate the internal energy through the enthalpy, where U is equals to H minus PV. Now in the property table we have some notations that are used in the property table or the steam table. These are like V of F, V of G, V F of G. What is V of F? This is the specific volume of the saturated liquid, as it is in the liquid state. So we have a subscript F, and V of G is basically specific volume for the gas or vapors. Similarly, V F of G is basically for the mixture, where V F of G is equals to V of G, as the specific volume of the gas is greater from the liquid. So V F of G is equals to V of G minus V of F. The quantity HF of G is called the enthalpy of vaporization. It represents the amount of energy needed to vaporize the unit mass of a saturated liquid at the given temperature and pressure. It decreases as the temperature or the pressure increases and becomes zero at the critical point. Now we'll have the first numerical from the steam table. Now we see how we use the steam table. A rigid tank contains 50 kilograms of the saturated liquid whose temperature is 90 degrees Celsius. Now the 90 degrees Celsius for water is before the boiling point, so we can say that it is residing in the compressed liquid region, and we'll consult the same steam table for that. Determine the pressure in the tank and the volume. Now we have to determine the value of the pressure and value of the volume. Now one thing important here is the value given for the temperature is 90 degrees Celsius. Now I'll show you how to use the steam table. Now this is basically a property table or a steam table. You will simply write on Google property table and steam table in SI units and you will have this table. You can also bring that table during your exams because you have to find out and match the values from these tables. So this steam table comes in the SI units as well as it also comes in the English units also. So you can have both the steam table. Similarly, this is also a steam table. You can also download steam table in this form. This is also the same steam table. Now here in this steam table these are the annexures. A1 is for some specific thing, A2, A3, A4. So basically important in our case is A4, which is basically a saturated water as the temperature is 90 degrees Celsius. So I'll open A4 and interpret my values. This is A4 steam table, saturated water temperature table. Now what was given, here we have our numerical. Now the given temperature is 90 degrees Celsius. So how I'll read the steam table? From the temperature I will choose the 90 degrees Celsius and highlight all this line. Now what I have to find out, first I have to determine the pressure. Now for 90 degrees Celsius, here is the value of pressure in kilopascal, that is 70.183. So I'll simply write P is equals to 70.183 kilopascals from the steam table. Now the second thing is we have to determine the volume in the tank. Now these are the volumes, value of the volume, V of F and V of G. Now that is important which value is concerned, V of F or V of G. As in my case the temperature is 90 degrees Celsius, so it is before boiling, so I'll choose this value because this is for the fluid or the liquid, which is 0.001036. Now V of F is equals to this. This is the specific volume. Here he is interested to have the value for the volume, so I'll simply multiply specific volume with the given volume, that is 50 kg, to have the final value, that is 0.0518 meter cube. So that's how you read a steam table. Now the next example, a piston cylinder device contains 2 feet cube. Now the units are English units, and a vapor has a 50 psi of the pressure. Determine the temperature. Now we have to determine the temperature and the mass. Here the value of pressure is given, so I'll choose the property table in the English units. In A4E you have temperature scale. Now I will choose 5E because the value of pressure is given. From pressure I have to interpret all the other values, so I'll open 5E. This is 4E and this is 5E. Now my value of the pressure is 50 psi. For that the value of temperature is 280. So my answer for the temperature in Fahrenheit is 280. I'll see. Now the answer is correct. I'll write T is equals to 280.99 Fahrenheit. The next thing we have to determine is the mass. So we'll calculate the mass from the specific volume. First we will calculate the specific volume. Now specific volume for that is basically there are two specific volume, V of F 0.01728 and 8.5, that is V of G. Now as the pressure is high and temperature is very high, it is basically residing in the gases region, so I'll have the value for Vg because the value is more than the boiling point of water, so I'll have V of G, that is 8.5. This is the specific volume. Total volume is given. Now how I'll calculate the mass? I'll divide the volume with the specific volume to have the mass. 2 divided by 8.5. So the value of mass in pounds is basically 0.235. Now the next thing here is basically ratio. During a vaporization process, a substance exists as part liquid and part vapors. So this is a mixture of a saturated liquid and the saturated vapor. To analyze this mixture properly, we need to know the proportions of the liquid and the vapor phases in the mixture. This is done by defining a new property that is called the quality, which is known as X. Quality X is equals to mass of the vapors. Sorry, I'll choose the highlighter here. Mass of vapor divided by the total mass. So X is equals to mv divided by mt, where m total is equals to mass of liquid plus mass of vapors, which is equals to mf plus mg. Quality has a significance for the saturated mixture only. It has no meaning in the compressed liquid or in the superheated region, so it is basically residing just inside here. Now the volume, the total volume is equals to volume of the liquid, volume of the gas. So V is equals to Vf plus Vg. Here volume is equals to mass into specific volume. Here mass is the total mass. V is equals to V of average, that is equals to mf Vf plus mg Vg. Mass of fluid, volume of the fluid, mass of the gas and volume of the gas. As m of f is equals to m of t minus m of g, because m of t is equals to f plus g, so if g comes here, it comes with a negative sign. So mf is equals to mt minus mg. We will put this value in this. Now mt is V of average is equals to mt minus mg V of f plus mg into Vg. Dividing whole by m of t divided by m of t. So here we have only V of average, average specific volume, that is equals to m of t divided by m of t, that is 1, minus m of g over m of t, that is quality X, into V of f plus m of g divided by m of t, that is again X V of g. Now we'll multiply the parentheses here. So the final relation will become average specific volume is equals to specific volume of the fluid plus quality into specific volume of the liquid and gas. So V of average is equals to V of f plus X into V of f of g, where V of f of g is equals to V of g minus V of f. So for the X we can have that relation V of average minus V of f divided by V f of g. Similarly for the internal energy we have the same relation, U of average is equals to U of f plus X into U of f of g. and for the enthalpy h of f plus x into h of f of g. Now again we have the numerical problem that is related with the steam table. A rigid tank contains 10 kilogram of water at 90 degrees Celsius. If 8 kilogram of water is in the liquid form and the rest 2 is in the vapor form, we have to determine the pressure in the tank and the volume in the tank. Now 90 degrees Celsius. Again we'll open our steam table. From our steam table 90 degrees Celsius we have the value of pressure 70. So we'll have simply the answer for the pressure 70.183 kilopascals. Now we have to find the volume of the tank. To find the volume of the tank, here basically we have two phases, liquid phase and gas phase. We'll have them separately one by one and add them. Now the total volume is equals to fluid volume plus gas volume. That is equals to mass into specific volume plus mass into specific volume for the gas region. Here the mass of the liquid is 8 and its V of F value is calculated from steam table, which is 0.001036. We'll put it here plus, now the gas is total volume was 10, 8 was liquid, so remaining is 2. So mass of the gas is 2. We have the value for V of G, that is 2.325. We'll put this value to have the total volume of the tank, that is 4.73 meter cube. So question is solved. There is another way you can solve this question from the quality X. As we know that X is equals to m of G over m of T. Here mass of gas is 2, total volume mass is 10, so X is 0.2. We know that V of average is equals to V of F plus X into V of F of G. Here the V of F is 0.003. We have 0.2 for the X. V F of G is basically V of G minus V of F, that is 2.325 minus 0.025. Again the answer is same, 0.473 meter cube per kg. This is the specific volume. We'll multiply it with the mass, which is the total mass 10, to have our volume, which is 4.73 meter cube. So you can also solve from this or from this. Now next question. This is also related with same table. Now we have 80 liter vessel contains 4 kilogram of refrigerant 143A at a pressure of 160 kilopascal. Determine temperature, quality, which is X, enthalpy of the refrigerant H, and the volume occupied V. Here our refrigerant is 134A, not steam. So for that we have a separate steam table, because the steam table is only for the liquid water or the steams. For the refrigerant we have table A12, which is also a part of steam table. Here at the beginning you can see here table A12 saturated refrigerant 134A pressure table. Now we'll go to the table 12. So that is important. During the exam you should have this table to find out the values to solve the numerical. Otherwise the numerical will not be solved. So it is customary you will bring these tables along with you during the exams. Now table 12. Now the value of pressure in the numerical is 160. 160. Here we have the temperature minus 15. We'll simply write as T is equals to minus 15. Now we have to calculate the enthalpy and volume. So first we find out the volume. Now V is equals to specific volume is equals to volume divided by the mass. Here the mass is given 4 kg and the total volume is given 80 liters. From liters we will convert into meter cubes, so it will become 0.080. Now we have the average specific volume 0.02. Now for 160 we have V of f, this value 0.00073 and V of g is 0.12. We'll simply write these two values here. Now we'll calculate the quantity x. X is equals to V minus V of f over V of f of g. Here V is basically the volume total 0.02 minus V of f, that is 0.000. V f of g is V of g minus V of f, so we'll have the quantity x 0.175. Now A part is solved, B part is solved. Now we'll solve the part C, that is enthalpy. H is equals to h of f plus x into h of f of g. Here x is known. Now we'll determine h of f and h of f of g. Again from the table, h of f is given, that is 31, and h of f of g is given, that is 209. This is for the liquid, this is for the vapor phase. Now we are concerned with h of f and h of f of g. We are not concerned with h of g, as these two terms are basically used in the numerical. So h of f is 31 and h of f of g is 209. So we'll simply put these values, 31 plus x, the value of x, that is 0.17, and h of f of g. So we'll have the enthalpy H, that is 64.2. So the C part is also. So now the volume occupied by the vapor phase. Final. Now the mass of the vapors m of g is equals to x into m of t. Here the value of x and total mass is known. So we'll have the mass of vapors 0.628 kg. Now volume V of g is equals to mg Vg. Here the value of Vg is 0.123 from the table. Value of mass is here. So now with the volume occupied by the vapor phase is 0.0775 meter cube. This is equals to 77.5 liters. The rest volume is basically 2.5 liters, that is in liquid form. So that is how you will solve the numerical from the steam table. So that was all from today's lecture. Thank you so much.